Hello, I'm Kelly Mantle. Hello, I'm Kelly Mantle. Hello, I'm Kelly Mantle. And this is the Kelly Mantle Show. Won't you come inside the Kelly Mantle studio? John Mark. Oh my God, what happened to you?
Yesterday you wanted to record last minute, so I came in and I hung the curtains and I was on a chair and I was moving too quickly and I fell off the chair.
Oh my God, I was just kidding. I really didn't want to record last minute. Oh, I'm so sorry, John Mark.
God.
That is
No,
hilarious.
it's fine. I'm actually fine.
No,
I'm
you are
fine.
not fine. You
I'm
look terrible. You need to go to ZocDoc.com right now. Go to ZocDoc.com. I'm telling you, we've all been here before, and I know that these appointments can be daunting. John Mark, no, you have blood coming out of your nose. Oh my God, get your phone out right now and go to ZocDoc.com. It's a free app and website available on your phone, and instantly book an appointment with a top-rated doctor that's in your network today. John Mark, no! Oh my God, we're gonna get diseases. No! Go to ZocDoc.com/mantle. ZocDoc.com/mantle today to book your appointment. I promise you will thank me later. Oh my God. You're bleeding.
You got alcohol wiping my eye.
You're bleeding.
There's so much. Why is there so much blood?
Oh my God. Do you know I never know where I am, but I always end up where I'm supposed to be? Isn't that mystical? Yesterday eve, as the moon came up in the east, I saw a beast rise out of the sea. At first I thought it was a drag queen, but then I realized it was the real thing. So I took shelter in a bookstore around the corner called the Folklore, where they sell pendulums and ointments and ornaments of gold and potions and lotions to moisturize your soul. And I thought, do they know that the end is near? That the end is here? Do these items really give them hope? Do they think they'll be protected from the beast by using a bar of witch hazel soap? And the lady behind the lace with the porcelain face and smoky eyes looked at me in the eyes from behind her disguise and said, yes, step outside and you will realize. There was only light from the eclipse. Everything was gone. It was a trip. The only thing left standing was the Folklore. So I walked in through the open door where I had been before and where I was reminded of why I came back for more. And then I vomited. Welcome to the Kelly Mantle Show. Won't you come inside the Kelly Mantle studio? Today's guest is a queer icon and one of my favorite comedians. She's an actress and activist too, and her music, much like her message, proclaims you can be you. She's a 5-time Grammy and Emmy nominee, a showbiz pioneer with years of longevity, and a badass at Celebrity Jeopardy. She's live and livid. She is our lucky gift, because her comedy has fed us for years and inspires us to resist. She wants our voices to be heard, especially if you're making jokes about crusty, stinky turds. Ladies and gentlemen, she is the notorious CHO. Give it up for the one and only Margaret Cho.
Thank you very much. What an incredible introduction. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here in the Kelly Mantle studio and gracing us with your presence. You probably don't know this, but you and I actually go way back. We do. You have ridden in my car with me at least 200 times in the cassette tape player.
I love it.
the bootleg cassettes of your
Love it.
early shows, honey. I'm
Amazing.
sure you've heard this a million times before, but you and Miss Sandra Bernhardt were the voices for queer kids like myself growing up in places like Oklahoma. You all provided the fuel that we needed for the fire, and you're still doing it.
I'm so glad. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm
Yes.
honored to be there. And Sandra you're so right. Sandra is really, I mean, I wouldn't be here without her. You know, she is my good friend, and I'm also a Bernhardtologist.
A Bernhardtologist, absolutely.
So, you know, she and I, she reared me.
Yes, yes.
And then
yes.
I continued on. But yeah, I think, you know, really she did so much for me
Yeah.
growing up. And it wasn't long after that I wanted to pursue comedy as well. And music.
And that's exactly what you all have done for so many of us.
Yeah.
And the reason I mention you two specifically is personally for me, I love the way that both of you merge and marry comedy into music and your music into your comedy.
Thank you.
And then you pepper it with socio-political commentary. And
Yeah.
it's just chef's kiss. It's
Thank you.
so perfect. you
Yeah, I mean, it's something, she's so special to me. She's
Yeah.
a really good friend, but also just an icon in fashion and in culture.
Yeah.
You know, just her with like Madonna on David Letterman, wearing like the denim
Yes.
shorts.
Girl,
and,
the denim shorts and the
sequin-
white t-shirts.
oh, the white t-shirts or the sequin
Yes.
bras at like APLA. Was that it? Like AIDS?
Absolutely. It was something about AIDS. Yes, it was an AIDS benefit.
Yeah.
The combat boots,
yeah,
honey.
that
the whole-
look. That
Yes.
women together being glamorous and beautiful and funny and free. She just really was so meaningful and like, you know, and I always bring it up. She's like, honey, I know. Oh, honey, of course. But you, what
Honey, we're
about
kicking
you?
into high gear, baby.
Yes,
Kicking into
love
high gear.
it.
Well, I love that you mentioned that because there are so many comedians out there that are actually serious singer-songwriters and musicians as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I myself am one of those. I
Yeah.
mean, I found myself many times going and doing a comedy set at Laugh Factory,
Mm-hmm.
then getting into my car and driving across town and pulling out my acoustic guitar and singing sad, melancholy folk songs.
You got to.
Absolutely.
You have
know?
to.
It's like, so having said that, I want to get into the comedy and the music of it all, but I want to start with the music. I have to start with the music, honey. Let's take it all the way back to My Puss.
Oh, yes, yes.
How does it? The My Puss goes straight for the juggler. Your puss get uglier and uglier.
It's a classic song.
My puss filet mignon. Your puss double coupe. Yeah.
It's such a funny song. Like I haven't done it live in so long. Like it's one of those things that I don't tend to go to. Mostly because if I do it with John Roberts.
I was going to
who's-
say you did it with John, and you did it as your mom, and then he
Yes.
did it as Linda.
he did it as Linda Belcher.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
from Bob's
Hilarious.
Burgers. So yeah,
good.
he's an East Coast guy, so
Yeah.
he and I never get to see each other. He's really my best friend. So we unfortunately never get to do it together.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been a while, so I forgot the whole thing. But he's
I
great.
know, right? It's so good. And that is so funny too. It's Hollywood is so 6 degrees of separation. I am literally such good friends with so much of that crew. Leslie Brockett, Catherine Kendall, Georgia
yeah.
Fox.
Yeah.
Those were like my crew that I met literally the first day I moved to LA, like
Yeah.
100 years ago. You also, what was the other song you did with him? How Close is Glenn Close?
Yeah, how close? Who hurt John Hurt? So we made this song that was Who's Dancing Ted Dancing. So we made
Who's
that
Dancing, Ted
and we did Who Hurt John Hurt, and then John Hurt died, and then we realized we hurt John Hurt.
Oh my God, you all put a curse on John Hurt.
We didn't mean to, but how close is Glenn Close? You wonder about it sometime, like
really do.
how close is Glenn Close? But-
Especially when she's laying there in that little, just with the little pieces of hair. What was that? that TV
Oh,
show
I can
she
smell
just
your
did?
nappy pussy.
Yes, I can smell. You all need to bring back How Close is Glenn
How
Close,
close
and then
is
mash
Glenn
it up with I
Close?
Can Smell Your Nappy Pussy
that was
into my puss.
that's a
I'm
great.
telling you
That's
here.
a great mashup. Perfect. That's the next mashup we're going to
I
do.
love
And we
that.
need to sample
Yes.
that. I mean, that's genius.
Well, speaking of, you have collabed musically with so many of my idols and so many of my favorite people because you and I are both Lilith Fair girlies.
Yes, so
honey.
Lilith Fair.
Oh my God, I love. Did you really give Sarah McLachlan a used roach from Rosie O'Donnell, and she wouldn't.
She wouldn't take it, and also looked at me like I was one of those in the arms of an angel animals that was in the SPCA commercial. Like she felt so bad looking at me, so sorry.
No.
It was so it was like the nastiest roach. You know, like when you're stoned and you're at a festival, you think everybody wants to hit off that nasty roach.
Honey, exactly.
I couldn't believe that I tried to give it to her, but that was in the early 2000s during the True Colors tour. I would have loved to be on the Lilith Fair tour.
They need to bring Lilith Fair back.
I think so too.
They need to bring Lilith Fair back.
I would love that.
I would love that too. And it can be intertwined with comedians and. I mean, basically, I feel like a Brandi Carlile concert nowadays is basically a Lilith Fair.
Yeah, for sure.
Bless her for bringing all the Golden Girls back, baby.
I love Brandi.
Yeah,
she's amazing.
So
she's amazing.
Do you still smoke weed?
I don't.
You
I'm actually sober.
Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't know if like California sober. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm actually all the way sober, but I like the idea of smoking weed. Like I think it's really interesting, and I love. My favorite thing about weed actually was weed lube for
Weed
anal,
lube?
because you could really get high, but it was really relaxing for your sphincter. Like it would really, but it wouldn't open it. But like anal is such a, especially if you're not used to it,
Right.
it's such a weird thing to try. But to have it in a lube, you would get high and relaxed immediately.
And I've never heard of this.
Yeah, yeah.
I want some weed lube.
It really works.
It's got to be an indica, honey, because it
works,
needs to make you relax. If it's a sativa, then you'd be like, closed
jacked and tight.
So it's got to be an indica.
I think
lube.
so.
I
think
would hope
so. But it worked really well. And
you tried it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I haven't done it for it's been over a decade, but
Yeah, I didn't know they had that.
But they have that. It's pretty limited. I mean, any sort of like, it's not topical, it's internal. So anything like that, it's a little bit like it's I don't know, undocumented, unresearched, kind of like people don't really know.
Well, now, what was it you used to do with Snoop Dogg? You and Snoop had a. Like
we used to go to I used to go to Thanksgiving at his compound.
Yeah.
And
Tell me about that. That must have just been a cloud of smoke.
Yeah, well, he's a roller. You know those people that like to roll and then take one hit and pass it? That's his job.
So he just sits there and rolls all day.
He's a roller.
That's hilarious.
Like, so you get way higher than him because he's only taking one hit, but you're smoking the rest of the blunt.
And it just keeps coming.
It keeps coming, and then you're just a
Double
receptacle
fisting.
for all of the blunts.
John Mark, come here. Oh my God, listen. You have to, oh my God, you look worse than you did before.
Oh my God.
No, you've never looked more terrible.
That is always nice to hear, Kelly.
Is that Sandy's neck brace still on your neck?
Well, it's the only neck brace in the building.
John Mark, go.
We don't even have
Did
a
you do what
first
I
aid
said
kit
to
here,
do?
Kelly.
Of course we don't have a first aid kit, honey, because we have ZocDoc.com. Pull out your phone right now and go to ZocDoc.com/mantle like I told you before.
Well, I was bleeding everywhere, and
Honey,
then I got
you don't
distracted.
need blood to live. That is a myth.
Okay.
Go to ZocDoc.com right here.
All right.
See how nice that is? Look at that.
I can put my insurance in.
Yes, put your insurance in because they have top-rated doctors that are in your network and will accept your insurance. And you can even book a same-day appointment today, and I can go ahead and let you, off work for a little bit to go see about yourself and make sure you're okay.
Oh my God, this guy's just literally down the block. I used to have to drive all the way to Simi Valley.
Yeah, they have in-network doctors in your
that's
area.
great.
What's his name?
Dr. Zaganda.
Ooh, let me see. Ooh, in my Baganda, honey. I wonder if he's single.
Well, it doesn't say whether they're single or not, Kelly.
Well, honey, you use ZocDoc for what you use it for, and I'll use it what I use it for. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/mantle. That's ZocDoc.com/mantle to instantly book your appointment with a doctor today. ZocDoc.com/mantle. I think you're just wanting off work for the day. That's what I think. Well, now what is this that you say that you drank a Jamba Juice full of mushrooms,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
it literally like affected you for like 13 years.
Yeah. I had
That's a strong Jamba Juice.
it was
honey.
strong because I had been sober before that for
Uh-huh.
like 7 years. And then I went to a party and somebody gave me a smoothie that was made from like oranges and psilocybin mushrooms. And I drank it. And, willingly, like I knew I was drinking psilocybin mushrooms. And I was so high, like I never stopped being high.
You drank the whole thing.
I drank the whole thing.
in one sitting.
Yeah, it was very strange.
Oh my God.
It's weird to be sober and then do like a really hardcore drug like that.
Oh, I can imagine.
It really messes you up. But, I think, yeah, not the best. I don't like hallucinogens.
No. Well, I did them in college and stuff. I mean, I would be scared to do anything like that nowadays because I feel like everything nowadays, unless you're getting like, your weed from your dispensary or whatever from a trusted source, you never know what it's going to be.
You never know what's in
and
it.
It's like, I don't know if I could do all those.
You're going to get like fentanyl in there and die. That's like the worst.
You're just going to die.
People just
Don't
die.
do the drugs or you're going to die.
It's a bummer.
Okay, well, one of my favorite music collabs that you did, and this is one of my favorite quotes of yours, I read somewhere that in the 1980s, Margaret identified as a lesbian, saying the title at that time had the stereotype of wearing jean shorts, Doc Martens, a bike chain, a messenger bag, and a portable CD player spinning Ani DeFranco. Now, I have to say that maybe minus the portable CD player, that's still me on a Sunday in Silver
Good.
Lake.
I love that. It's the best look.
It really is.
Mhm.
I mean, I think we all still kind of sport that to
I
a
love
certain
it.
extent.
It's perfect.
You and Ani created Captain Camel Toe together.
Yes.
I loved it
Yeah,
so
thank
much.
you.
The animated video. If you all have not seen this treasure trove of material that I'm talking about, go to Margaret Cho's YouTube page and watch all of these music videos. What was it like? I mean, you all are friends. What is
Yes.
it like working with her?
She and I got super high. That was when I was smoking weed, and then we got super high, and we
She
were like,
loves the weed.
she loves weed, but she's a lightweight because she's a
Is
teeny
she?
tiny.
She is tiny.
She's a teeny tiny. So she has one hit, and then she's like really high, and I was so high, and we made that song, and then we went out to eat. It was in her home studio in New Orleans, and we went out to like this big like restaurant, and we had like alligator cheesecake, just super paranoid and super high in this
Alligator
restaurant,
cheesecake.
like kind of not being able to eat, but like really scared. But like it was just very, it was one of those things. I wish I remember the minutia because it was
These
fascinating.
are great stories, though.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, how cool to get high with Ani DeFranco, make music, and then go have alligator
It
cheesecake
was
in
very
New
cool.
Orleans.
She's the coolest.
Oh,
you know?
she is literally
Love
the
her.
reason I picked up a guitar
Yeah.
and started playing. I mean, she
Yeah.
is like, I mean, her whole discography, those early years,
Yeah.
Not a Pretty Girl and Dilate, those
Everything.
albums are just, oh my
Everything.
God. And then just her independence, Righteous Babe Records, the whole like.
Just doing it herself, creating her own label, allowing for other artists to jump on to her
Yes.
bandwagon and like really helping everybody or understanding that we could do this without the major label help, without, having to sell our souls.
Yes.
She's such a pioneer in so many ways. And, I'm always in deep admiration of her. She's a bicon.
Absolutely.
The
As are you.
bicons, yeah, the
As are you.
bicons.
I'm not a con, but I'm a bi.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, honey.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I jokingly say I'm a gay, bisexual, transgender lesbian. I'm kind of all the
Yeah,
above. I'll eat
do
anything
it.
with a sneeze
Wonderful.
guard over it.
You got to.
And I think that's why I connected so fiercely with Ani and with you. You all were some of the only people I knew embracing the term queer at the time, and it was all encompassing.
Yeah.
Saying it doesn't really matter. I fall for the person. I'm attracted to the human,
Mm-hmm.
and that made so much sense to me because I've always been attracted to boys and girls and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends. What,
Yeah.
If
That's
you
wonderful.
have the chemistry, go for it, baby.
Also, gender is really, I don't know, the right wingers make such a big deal about gender, and gender is just an idea of who we are.
Well, it's so fluid.
Yeah.
And I don't even understand if it's not fluid for you. Why are you so angry at other people's fluidity?
Yeah.
What is it that makes you so angry about it?
That they're afraid that they're going to lose some aspect of what they make they make themselves feel like, well, this makes me whole. If I'm a man and I identify in all of these traits, then if somebody else doesn't identify, then I'm in danger of losing my wholeness. There's something so wretched about that idea of like, we can only have two genders. Like, it's so weird.
I don't understand the restrictions that they need to live under. And then because they're living under those restrictions, they want to force them onto us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
like their restrictions are somehow not valid unless they're also being enforced on a population that does not want it.
Right.
You know, but it's incredibly damaging in so many ways. But the truly great artists always understood that gender is a spectrum.
Absolutely.
Like everybody that I love, you know, people like David Bowie or Prince or Ani or all of these different artists, you know, whether it's Annie Lennox or Lady Gaga or Madonna, they're all playing with the duality of male and female.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so true. And, you know, what they like to use, too, as their weapon against it is you're trying to make our children this way. And it's like, honey, if you haven't realized by now, we are literally born this way.
There is no recruiting or coercion. Right. There's nothing like that.
Exactly.
We're just like this. And then we're making it safe because there are going to be kids who are like this.
Exactly, that are born this way, they need representation.
Yeah, they need to know that they have a place to go, that there's a community that's there that exists for them.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird, like we don't recruit. What they do is they recruit with conversion therapy, with legislation.
Oh, they're trying to legislate our lives right now.
Yeah, it's a genocide.
It really is.
It's a trans genocide.
Yeah.
It is so terrifying and on so many levels happening, but also it's a joke to them.
Yeah.
As well.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why it's so sickening because they don't even take it seriously because they're laughing about it as well.
Yeah.
You know, and
you know they're sitting there just like with the whole thing about we're going to take Harvey Milk's name off of this boat, this ship. And I'm like, you know, they're just sitting there in their offices going, what can we do to get him to, let's take Harvey Milk's name off.
Like
and it's like, girl, please.
Also, Pete Hegseth with his gay face.
Hello.
Like, you need to take that.
Honey, the makeup artistry is.
You know, he has he like put $50,000 in a makeup room at the Pentagon.
Seriously.
Like, honey, girl. Miss Girl.
Miss Girl, Miss Thing. If you're going to have all of that at the Pentagon,
I know.
you need to look a hell of a lot better coming out of there than you
please,
do.
Miss Hegseth. But it's
and
like...
you need to give Trump some tips because, honey, she's turning brown. She's got, like, the hair's, it's just, honey, it's a whole mess.
For such a narcissist, like, he really does not pay attention to his makeup.
No.
He is really not. Why? He loves himself so much. He has a picture of himself on his phone.
He does.
Like, why don't you also, like, look in the mirror and take a minute?
I'm surprised it wasn't Putin on his phone.
I know.
It was, have a picture of that. But I love that you say that is even in the face of this adversity, we somehow still rise up, turn it all into art.
Yeah.
We show up, we thrive, we continue to thrive. I mean, that's the thing I don't think they understand is, you know, they want to call us snowflakes. They want to say we're weak because, you know, we're gay or this or that or the other. And it's like, you don't realize what it's like to every single day of your living, breathing moment here on earth to have it legislated, to have it hated, to have it mocked, to have it joked about, to have it bullied, to have it all these things. And somehow we all still rise up and show up and thrive. And it's like, give up.
Yeah.
Because it's not working.
It's
and
powerful.
It will never work.
It's never going to work. And it's powerful. And we have the upper hand. We always have and we always will.
Because it's truth.
Because it's what's right.
Exactly. And also, you know, you see Elon now, like, they're all eating each other at this point. You know, they're all turning on each other. It's hilarious.
I heard people were saying, like, why is Elon's body like that? And it's like, he looks like the deep breath you take before you tell a lie. Which is like, that's the perfect.
It's so true.
Well.
And girl, I mean, you and I having been, you know, hallucinatory drug users in the past. You tell me that little weaving back and forth in the
Yeah.
Oval Office.
What
He's
is
trying to say
that?
that's not drugs.
That he's
Girl,
rolling.
he
He's
is
h- so
rolling.
high.
He's like, his eyes are closed. He's hearing the soundtrack in his mind, honey.
It's a very high behavior, but it's like I don't even think ketamine is that good. Like, why don't you do like good drugs?
I know. Well, I've never done ketamine. Have you ever done ketamine?
Yeah, ketamine is just kind of, I don't know. Like, ketamine is not my
I
favorite.
feel like it just makes you want to go to sleep.
It is. It's just like a sedative, so kind
Yeah.
of just it's like a tranquilizer dart. It's
I mean,
like
he
you-
was like 2 steps away from nodding off in the Oval
Yeah.
Office. I mean, that's where we're at, people.
Yeah.
You all voted for someone to nod off in the Oval Office.
he's just high with his weird black eye.
He's just high with his weird black
He's
eye.
high
He's
with
just
his
high
weird-
with his weird black eye.
eye.
Now, is it true at, 15 you were a phone sex operator?
Yeah, yeah,
I love that.
yeah. I wasn't good at it.
You weren't?
No, so they moved me to the a booth at the end of the operator so we could record just like messages. So people would call in and you would read messages for people, and, you know, that would say I'm blonde, I have blue eyes, and so mine was Hot Girls USA. So we were teaching guys how to speak English by using very simple text, but getting them off. So it was like erotica, but it was, you know, noun, verb.
I always wanted to be a phone sex operator because I thought I could get paid double time because I could be the husband and the wife.
Yeah,
both,
yeah.
You know, for the cuckolds calling in looking
It's
for
a great
couples who were into
idea.
cuckolding. You know?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Absolutely. I think I should do it. We like to play games here on the Kelly Mantle Show here at the Kelly Mantle Studio. In this case, I wanted to do Comedian Association.
Okay.
And you say the first thing that comes to your mind when I mention this comedian.
Okay.
If I have your consensual consent to the consensus of consenting to do so.
That's right, yes.
Yes. Matt Rife.
Oh, biceps?
Right?
Yeah.
Lips.
He's
cheekbones.
got quite a lot of, he does have muscles. He's a muscly guy.
He really does. What do you think of crowd work?
I think it's hard.
It is.
I don't really do it.
No, I know, and
I've
that's-
never been a crowd work comedian. I think that's an incredible gift.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you can do that. For me, it's more important to get my points across and sort of what I want to do. But yeah, the people that are really good at it, I'm always amazed.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So good. Speaking of Jessica Curson.
Oh, she's hilarious. She's a good friend of mine. She is so funny and cool, and yeah, I love her.
So cool. I love
She's
when she
awesome.
turns around and says, "Stop eating the whole back of my." When she starts talking to herself.
She's so good.
So good. And
Yeah.
her new comedy special on Hulu. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. I'm the Man. I think
She's
is the name
great.
of
Yeah,
it,
I'm the man.
Chelsea Handler.
Oh, she's a goddess. You know, I went to go see her one time in Atlanta, and then she had to cancel because she shit her pants. And I was like, girl,
No,
been
Margaret,
there.
You have so many shit stories.
I'm always shitting my pants. You know,
You have missing shits.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
are pulling turds out of your
Yeah.
butthole. You are shitting on the side
it's
of the
always
freeway
feast
in
or
the
famine.
car.
It's one over the other. You know, I don't know. There's
What
nothing
is
normal
going
about it.
on?
But she had to. I never canceled a show because of shitting.
She
She
literally
had,
canceled.
She had
the
to
show because
cancel
of shitting.
and go back in her private plane because she couldn't stop shitting. I think that was it. She was sick.
Jackie Beat just told a story here on the Kelly Mantle Show, so go back and watch that episode. She literally, like, as she was introducing the guest at a drag show in Palm Springs, had to go in, and then it got all over her pads, and it was a whole mess, honey.
Oh no!
Honey.
The worst. The worst.
Okay, so what do we think of Dave Chappelle?
Dave is divisive.
Mhm.
I think that I wish that he would not talk about the trans community in the way that he does, because I think that he's such an authority on comedy. People look and perceive him as in such a high, and hold him in such high regard.
Yes.
But then when he talks about the trans community in such an uneducated and negative and destructive way,
True.
it really is painful.
Yeah.
You know, because he's also a really old friend of mine. Like, he's somebody that I've known since I was a young teenager.
Really?
You know, because he and I were both in the same situations, being really young teenagers doing this.
Yeah.
So it feels like a betrayal because I know he's better than that.
Well, and the thing I always say is come up with something original. I feel like every jab that they have is so unoriginal. Honey, Juno Birch and I were just here saying, I love a transphobic joke. I mean, give me a good
if it's
transphobic
really,
joke.
because we are the best, even within our community, if we appreciate slander.
Absolutely.
Because we know like a good read.
Yes.
Whatever. But
So if you want to be a cis straight man, which I'm assuming he is, then come up with something good and clever and not just your typical, like, I've heard that so many times.
yeah, it's so hard. So
There's so many other things you can talk about.
yeah.
And write jokes about.
I guess he said he's retired it, that he would never talk about it again, which, I mean,
Well, that's good.
you know, that's probably good. I don't know. I think it's sad. It really breaks my heart because as somebody who I know, you know, known him for a long time,
I bet, yeah.
you know, it's extremely painful, but it's also like some guys just are so weird about it. Like they don't want to let go of these notions of gender and what it means. You know,
Well, they're suspiciously obsessed with it.
yeah, it's like
You know,
why?
exactly.
Because
so
it
why
doesn't
are you
affect their
constantly talking
lives.
about
You know,
it?
it's like if it's not their real life, then what is it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a suspicious obsession.
Yeah.
You know, I would be interested to see what their internet history tells us. And of course, on that note, the best of the best, Joan Rivers.
The best.
The best.
The best.
I loved her in bed with Joan.
Oh, she
that
was
was
so funny.
cool. I know.
She was so cool and so funny and fun, and you know, I miss her all the time. And
bet.
I can't believe it's been over 10 years.
I can't believe it's been that long. I would love to hear what she has to say about everything going on. I had the pleasure of getting to meet her in July, and I think she passed in like September of that year. And I was doing a show at the Laurie Beachman, and he called me up and said, "Hey, Joan's going to show up tonight and do some work out some new material." Can you believe that? At that age and still working out new material at the Laurie Beachman.
Yeah.
And so I showed up, I got to meet her, and it was absolutely amazing. And the thing I love that you talk about, you all would shoot Fashion Police at 5 a.m, and she would have her little coffee cup full of Chardonnay
Yes.
at 5 a.m.
I mean,
I'm
why
like, now
not?
see, this is the way I like to work.
That's
I
so
love
mother.
that.
You know, it's mother behavior, and she was hilarious.
It really is. What, Ellen?
Ellen is so
Complicated?
you know, again, like somebody that I've known for such a long time and such a it's so weird now. Like her public perception of her is like more true to I think she's mean. She was like a mean girl.
Yeah.
Kind of like, but also she would be real nice. I think she always had like kind of negative feelings towards me because her girlfriends and wives always liked me.
Yeah.
All her
Isn't that
girlfriends were
wild?
like always like kind of.
Yes.
There's something about there's a kind of woman that loves a female comic.
Yes. There really is. There really is.
You know, there's
honey.
like there's a couple of women around comedy who are married to women. They'll come up to you like,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
very specific.
There's not only a very specific type of woman that likes comedians, but there's also a very specific woman that likes female musicians. And so they're kind of one and the same.
Yeah, they're similar. They could actually
really
be
are.
interchangeable.
They really could.
Yeah.
They really could.
So I think that there was always that suspicion with us, but like, Ellen was like really weird and not nice to me for most of my career, and like because I opened for her in the 1980s.
Oh, you did?
When she was a headliner in comedy clubs, and not way before her big fame. And so then when I would do her talk show in the 2000s, she acted like we just met, and I'm like, bitch, what?
One of those types.
I'm like, bitch, what? Like that's weird. Like
Right.
it's like we go way back.
Bitch,
You're- what? Bitch, like it's so creepy and weird. But you know, also the other thing was David Bowie had been on the show, and he was so excited that the night before that I had come to his show wearing this giant Chinese emperor outfit. He was really thrilled about it, and he talked at length about it. And she cut it out of the show, which made me so mad. And the producer, who's a really good friend of mine, had to call me and tell me, I can't believe she did this, but she cut it out of the show. But you need to know that he was going on and on about your outfit.
Oh
he
my
loves you.
God.
God said your
That
name.
is so
Which is so rude.
That is so gross.
I don't know if it was personal. Maybe it was for time.
Right.
But still, I'm
But
going to take it
still,
personally just because
honey,
I decided to.
You should have sent her a note and said, send me the footage. I'll post it to my YouTube.
I know it exists somewhere.
The Transvestigation Unit of the Kelly Mantle Show wants to know, is it true that you once dated Quentin Tarantino?
Yes, it's true.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
He and I were in possession of his 8,000 films from video archives because he worked at that video store and he bought the inventory when they closed. So we watched
The Rocket video?
No,
Oh.
it was called Video Archives. It was in Santa Monica.
Okay.
And it was a huge video library of movies, and so we watched quite a few of those movies. We watched a million films together. He's my movie buddy.
So cool.
A great guy. We're still friends today. I think he's just in a different space now, so it's
Yeah.
hard to sort of see where he's right. He also doesn't have a cell phone, which is very weird. Like, you have to call him on a landline.
Quentin Tarantino doesn't have a cell phone?
Yeah, it's weird.
That is wild.
He doesn't have a way to get GPS, so he gets lost a lot.
I have GPS and I get lost a lot, so maybe he and I should hang out. We just stay lost together.
Yeah, but he's a very interesting guy.
If you could have a dinner party with 3 guests, living or dead, who would they be?
Well, gosh, I would love to see Jill Sobule again, because there's
wow.
so much to say.
Right.
She is like my really good friend, but we had our conversation interrupted in 2023, and I had so much to say to her, and I was like, I'll catch you in a second. And, it got pulled apart and never got to finish. And, it is it's a weird thing. Like, you think, oh, these people that we love that, are in our lives, we should make the most of it. But we'll get, I'll get to see them again. No, you don't. You don't.
Wild.
So I'd love to finish our conversation.
Yeah.
I'd also love to hang out with Quentin Crisp.
Oh,
Quentin Crisp. I want to know all about
Honey,
him
for the
and-
children watching, Google Quentin Crisp,
Yeah.
a knowledge philosopher
All
of
of
our
the
queer
all of the
culture.
queer lore. I would love to. Another queer icon we just lost, Edmund White.
Yes,
which
Edmund White.
He just
the
died
author.
today or yesterday.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I would have loved to sit down
Angels
with him.
and what was that? Oh, so
There's so
good,
many,
so
but
many.
he was just an icon of
I
our.
didn't know he died.
Yeah. So that would be somebody that I would like to.
Wow, what a
like to
great
talk
dinner
to.
party! Can I come? to
Yes,
that?
I would love that.
I'll bring dessert.
Perfect.
Margaret and I just attended a music festival the other day together, didn't we, Margaret?
We did. We had such a good time.
We had such a good time, and there were so many different acts playing. The Indigo Girls had just finished their set, and the crowd was rushing toward the stage to grab Amy Ray. Well, Margaret and I luckily were over in the VIP tent with all the celebrities, but a big gust of wind came along and started to blow the tent down on top of all of us. Well, thankfully, Margaret was wearing her Wonder Woman costume, and it was up to her to save the celebrities, but she was only able to pull one out at a time. Who is Margaret going to save? We had our own sound effects here on the Kelly Mantle
like
Show,
that.
so we don't
Thank
have to
you.
pay for copyright. Right?
Perfect.
Lucia's there too, helping to pull the celebrities out, because Lucia's like Toto. She's going to survive
That's
the gust of
right.
wind.
That's right.
Who are you going to save, Margaret? Sandra Bernhardt or Selene Luna?
That's such a painful. That is like who? That's a hard one. I think it would have to be Selene.
You know?
She's my family. But of course I love Sandra.
We love Sandra, but I'm sure that Sandra would find her own way out. She probably would.
She is so strong.
She would probably find her own way out. She would probably hold the tent up and say, "Get off of me," and
Right.
just walk out on her own.
That's
so
right.
she probably wouldn't
Yeah.
be crushed. Ken Jennings or Alex Trebek,
Gosh.
if he were still alive.
If he was still alive. I think it would have to be Ken Jennings because he's still alive.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
Yes. We love you, Alex, but you've already crossed over. So what are you doing in the VIP tent is what I want to know.
That's right.
Right. Did you ever get to meet Alex Trebek?
No, I would have loved to.
Now, have you been a Jeopardy fan? Like, are you a big game
Yes,
show
I'm
girly?
a big game show fan, and I love Jeopardy. It's my favorite.
And you did the Hollywood Squares, too,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
you?
that was fun, too. Yeah,
Fun.
that's really fun.
I love that. Fortune Feimster or Brett Goldstein?
Gosh. It's killing me with the choices. Killing me. I think it'd have to be Brett.
Really?
I love Brett. Yeah, it's so hard.
You're just going to leave Fortune to lie there under the VIP tent, striving for her life.
It's so painful. It's so painful.
Lesbian rights. Tig Notaro or Hannah Gadsby?
Tig Notaro.
Yeah.
Tig Notaro, because I always laugh so much at Tig Notaro's material that I go to Tig and try to tell Tig the jokes that she just told.
Yes.
And laughing.
Do you have, like I did with you today with the whole, like, the airline steward with the chicken, like, let me tell you all your jokes to your face here on the podcast,
I do that to Tig so much. It's
That's
so
hilarious.
funny. But I can't even get it out because I'm laughing so much that I can't even get it out.
That's hilarious. Yeah, she's absolutely golden.
Love
I
Tig.
mean, her special is hilarious. Jesse Tyler Ferguson or Eric Stone Street?
Oh, Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
Yes,
Always.
Honey, we have to have a ginger in the group.
That's right.
We have to save the gingers,
He's the best.
baby.
He's
He
the
is the
best.
best. I got to see him. I worked on Modern Family, an
Oh,
episode
wow.
of it, and we didn't have a scene together, but he was there on set that day, and got to kiki.
He's so much fun.
So cool.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's impossible. Who made this list? Especially for you, because I don't know if you know one of them, but you're really good friends with the other one. Cyndi Lauper or Dolly Parton? How could we?
I mean, it's hard. I think it would have to be Cyndi, although that's really tough.
It's really tough.
Yeah, I think it would have to be Cyndi because I'm hoping she'll.
You know, I feel like Dolly would just be sitting there on the throne going, go save everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that Dolly would get.
Go ahead
I'm
and
hoping
go."
Dolly would get out on her own.
Yeah.
Because she's so
Even if she didn't,
iconic.
I feel like she'd just be like, I've lived a great life, go save everyone.
Yeah.
She's just that giving.
I know, it's so hard.
So
I think it would
good.
have to be Cyndi.
Oh,
That's
Cyndi.
tough.
So what was it like opening the True Colors tour?
Oh, so great.
Yeah.
You know,
that was the first like iteration of it?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first iteration, and it was so exciting to be able to travel, with Cyndi and get to see her every night. And then we had different people come in and out, like the B-52s, or Debbie Harry was there the whole time, but Erasure was there for most of it, and the Indigo Girls came, and Joan Jett, and so many great bands. I loved it so much.
Oh my God, put another dime in my jukebox.
She's so great.
Baby, she's so hot.
She's so hot.
Oh my gosh. Jackie Beat or Kim Chi?
Again, impossible.
Really?
I
mean, she invented that.
Jackie Beat is my really, really good friend, but Kim Chi is like my country, my soul, and my country, my allegiance.
Your allegiance to the country, to the native lands.
My native land, my land of morning calm. It's very tough.
That is tough.
Oh gosh, I think it would have to be Jackie Beat though.
What would your mom say?
I don't know. You have to say kimchi. Have to say I don't care.
I don't care about Jackie.
You have to say kimchi. Jackie Beat is the funniest song that's that's like Lovely Day, but it's a parody of Lovely Day, but it's Ugly Gay. Ugly Gay. It's my favorite. It's Ugly Gay.
So good.
So good.
I mean, the one that she gets canceled for all the time is I got the AIDS down in Africa. I mean, it's so wrong. It's
so
right.
I love her song parodies.
She's horrible.
It's so
She's
funny.
a horrible human being.
It's so bad.
Mariah Carey or Janet Jackson?
Again, very tough. Janet Jackson. I have a soft spot for
I
Janet.
didn't mean it when I told you that I told you no. I didn't mean it when it honey.
Oh,
You're not going to save Mariah?
I do love Mariah, though. It's very tough.
It is tough.
It's very tough.
Let's save them both.
Okay.
You save one and I'll save
Okay.
one. Last one. David Bowie, if he were still alive, or Elton John.
Oh, David Bowie. Always David Bowie.
Always David Bowie. Ground control to Major Tom. And there you go. Margaret Cho only saved David Bowie out of all those celebrities. She left Dolly Parton and Chappell Roan to die under the VIP tent. That's the kind of woman you are. I'm just kidding. We like to make it dramatic here on the Kelly Mantle Show. Now, what is this new Broadway project you're working on?
So I am working on a show. I've been working on it for 10 years. It's actually a very long process, but I wrote a show about my mother and her sisters emigrating to America, and it's a one-person show, so I do all of the characters. So I play myself and my mother and her two sisters, and it's been a long time. But
so you play all the characters?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's cool. It's cool. So
is it going to be like a Lily Tomlin Search for Signs
kind of thing? So I've done it a few times. I've done it upstate New York for a festival, and then I'm going to go to Aspen to do a festival in September with it, but it's going to Broadway eventually. That's the goal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
So you've been doing Live and Livid for several years now, and is that true? Like that's the name of the show that you've been.
Yes.
It's ongoing.
Yes.
So as time goes on, are there more and more things that you get livid about that you have to add to the show?
Yes.
Is it constantly?
It's
ever
always
changing?
it's always changing.
Okay. Yeah.
The thing about comedy is that it's like it's a living, breathing thing.
Yes.
So what it was at the beginning is really completely different to what it is now, and it's about to change again. Because I have a new show now that I haven't announced yet, so that'll be the next phase.
Oh, cool.
So it's changed so much now that I think it's actually turning over into something else, which is cool.
And you write one joke a day, you said.
Yeah.
And what have you written one today?
Today's was I didn't really get it. Like I wrote it and I was like, oh, I have multiple personalities, and the one personality that always scratches my mosquito bites, and that's the one that bothers me.
Really?
So
I have multiple personalities.
yeah,
too.
yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Maybe our multiple personalities can get together and
Yeah.
that is so cool. And then you have this wonderful new album out called Lucky Gift. Go check this album out if you haven't heard it already. It is a throwback to like 90s girl music that we're talking about. It's so good. The title song itself reminds me a little bit. It's like reminiscent of like the Sundays.
Oh, thank you.
I love that so much.
Thank you. I do too. That's like I wanted to do like the Cardigans.
Yes.
That kind of very 90s, European vibe, but also a little throwback to like Tracy Ullman's albums.
Yes.
I love her. So, I wanted to do like the look was that, the kind of 60s look, but
The video is so good.
Thank
Did you
you.
get to keep the Go-Go's phone?
I didn't get to keep the Go-Go's phone.
I want the Go-Go's
I love
phone.
the Go-Go's phone.
I know. I love the Go-Go's phone. It's so good. You are so cute. You want to get up into the microphone? Oh, there we go. You are so precious.
She's a good girl.
Oh my gosh, I love her so much.
She's a good girl.
You're just so precious, precious, precious. Thank you so much for coming here. Make sure you check out Margaret's album, Lucky Gift, and stay tuned for more here on the Kelly Mantle Show Patreon with Margaret Cho. And make sure you go check out the Kelly Mantle Show merch that was just released. We love you, and we'll see you next time when our guest will be Madonna. Thank you, and good night.